Hi Luxury Home Show, I'm Mel from MW Architects. We're here in North London today and this is our house for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So we obviously have a bar set up in here as well, and it's a nice kind of warm, cosy space with the dark colours on the walls. This is the outbuilding. In here we have a selection of gym equipment. This whole master suite is approximately 65 square metres, so it's a large bedroom, a large dressing area and a large bathroom. So just to show you a bit at the front of the house, we have a mainly brick building, but we have a central black granite piece in the middle, which has got the large front door in it. We've got a drive-on roof light, space for a couple of cars, we can actually get a third on, and it's all behind a sliding gate. So the front of the house didn't end up exactly how anybody wanted as a result of the planning system. However, we've made the best of it, and with the foliage, it's working really well. So, welcome to the house. I am currently in the ground floor hallway. We're across 4 stories here. We have a basement down there, which I'll show you later. And then we have a kitchen through there, which I'll go into in a second. In this space, we have a metal helical stair followed by a spiral stair going right up to the 2nd floor. So this stair had to be built on site and it came in pieces and it was all welded into place, and all of the treads and risers are metal beneath their timber cladding. The other big feature here is the lights, which come all the way from the 2nd floor ceiling down the centre, and then obviously a second set drop off of the 1st floor ceiling in this section. And these are the bowl lights by Pato and Coombs, and these become a feature throughout the house, as you're going to see. Let's go in the kitchen. So this is the kitchen. We actually have more than one thing happening in this room. We have seating, we have a dining table, and then we obviously have the main kitchen for the house. The kitchen itself is double island, and that makes it just a really great working space for actual kitchen function. So we have a whole slab here where you can do prep and you can host on it. So this is the main cooking area, which is in this house is a gas hob. It actually has a really nice relationship with outside because this kitchen run goes along, and then outside we have an outdoor cooking area that matches in the same position. They do the main cooking here. There's a wok burner, the place that the food happens. This half is a bit more preppy. So obviously it's got the 2 sinks. It has a second island for prepping, and then more stuff is hidden in this end of the kitchen. So when it's closed off, it's all neat. And then we have kind of the hidden coffee machines and paraphernalia of a kitchen. So in here we have a marble surface, which is a Parnon marble and obviously ties through across the kitchen. We have dark grey to all the units. And you will see there is a theme in this house where we are quite monochrome. The lighting, we obviously have task lighting where needed, and then we have a series of the Pato and Coombs bowls running through the house. You'll see those in other spaces. So coming out of the kitchen, there's obviously the 2 other areas I spoke about on the way in, which is a kind of living for the TV area and a separate dining area in here. Before I do anything else, let me show you this though. So we have whole house automation here by Crestron. So the house has a ground source heat pump, which is obviously in the garden, and a plant room downstairs. And then everything is controlled by this. So we have all the lights, all the different rooms. We have various other things you can control. The climate is controllable as alongside the blinds. And I won't go into all of these, but obviously we have media and security and gates and things like that. So this half of the room, we have a really large family sofa, which they all snuggle up on. They can obviously watch the TV in this space while someone's cooking. And then we have the kind of breakfast table set up here. What's really lovely is obviously in this space you get the whole of the view behind. We have an outdoor kitchen out here, which is essentially a whole run through. So everything is mirrored from inside to out. So at the end of the garden, we have an outbuilding, which has a gym, a hot tub, a sauna and a bathroom area. And we're going to show you all that later. So coming from the kitchen into the formal dining area. So this space is set up for dining all the time. We have a change in the floor. So we've gone from our polished concrete to a herringbone dark grey parquet, and you will see this throughout the house on the upper floors and downstairs. It also goes out to a herringbone outside, which you'll see later. This space is great because it's set up for a big dinner party all the time, have the continuation of the dark grey joinery on both sides for serving. We also have these really lovely curtains, so if they want to block the hallway, which is behind me, from sound, once people are in, they can keep it separate. And the lighting in here is what you will now start to see throughout the house. We have a lot of art here, and so the positioning of spotlights so that is shown to its best is important throughout the house. So we have a light shelf in here as well, which just adds a different ambiance in the evenings. And we obviously have the bowls again from Geopato & Coombs, which, as I've said, are running through the house. Before we move on through the next door, we have another connection here, which is from the main dining area to the outdoor seating area, which is sunken. Again, we will go out there in a bit. So coming into this space, we've continuation of the floor finishes into the main living area. The whole of the back of the house is south facing, so we've got a really great connection across. In this space, we have indoor sofas, then we have outdoor sofas. We obviously have this amazing fireplace in a book match marble, which is then complemented by an outdoor fireplace in brick, which we'll show you later. And then we have a continuation of the lights from Geopato & Coombs, which are hand-blown glass, and in here they're clear, so you see the delicacy of the actual pendants in them. There's a bar over in that section, which I'll show you in a second, and then this part of the living room forms a more gallery type library space, depending on who you are, and has some other uses. So this space is where they entertain a lot, so guests would come into this space before they go through to the dining area. So we obviously have a bar set up in here as well, which is great just for those pre-dinner drinks, and it's a nice kind of warm, cosy space with the dark colours on the walls. So as I mentioned, the owners are quite into their art and objects. They've done a lot of collecting over the years. So this space is designed to essentially showcase that. So we have lots of different size shelves in the same dark joinery that runs through the house. There's obviously specific lighting so that parts are lit and parts aren't. And it basically gives them an opportunity to keep mixing up what they're showing their guests. The rest of this space is occasional use, I would say. So sometimes they'll play cards here. There's also a lot of Buddhas and Asian artwork around the house, which is a kind of key favourite piece for the owners. So over here we've currently got a yoga mat because the clients are big on yoga, the whole family are, and we have another space for that in the garden as well, so they can use different spaces at different times. So to finish off the ground floor, you would go through this door, back into the central stairwell, or you could go back through to the kitchen, but we're not going to do that right now, we're going to take you outside. So coming out from the main house kitchen, you come into the outdoor kitchen. This is an amazing space with an outdoor island, and then we have a whole run on the back wall. We have outdoor cooking set up for barbecuing. We've got a sink, and then we've got loads of storage in here for everything you could want to do at a barbecue. It's obviously under this canopy, which is a steel lattice, which we've deliberately grown with huge pots so that we're completely encased with foliage. This goes into the dining room for the outdoors, which is links to the indoor breakfast room, and this is obviously where we eat when we're outside. So leaving the outdoor kitchen, hi Plummy, we come along and down here is a sunken seating area. So this space is directly outside of the dining room and is basically in the summer a really great way for, if they are eating indoors, they can then come outside and sit in the sunken seating area. And then this area moves on to an upper seating area. This is then connected to the main living space inside, so there's the really good connection I was talking about earlier, and we have the outdoor fireplace here, which is an amazing place to sit in the evening. So from the fireplace in the outdoor living area, we then have a walkway, which is made out of metal lattice again, in a series of archways, which we've grown so that they look like they're part of the foliage. And then this is the side onto the lawn. So as you walk down this pathway, you get to the outbuilding, which we're going to go into in a minute. And then we're also starting to think about the back of the house in terms of we get this great view of what's behind. So the brief for the garden was a tropical oasis, and as you can see, we have a lot of ferns and other such tropical plants. We've got these grown archways, we've got the vines going over the lattice, and we've also got large plant pots with individual trees that kind of bound the edge of what is a family lawn. So this was a Victorian house before it was knocked down, and so this is actually a kind of the only real nod that's left to what was here before, which is this kind of old York stone stepped area, which we've kept, and it's just a nice little spot when the sun shines. So obviously from here, going back down the pathway, you get a view of the house, which is pretty great at the back. So you can see that we have these 3 openings, which are the kitchen, dining and living rooms. And then the master suite, which we're going to take you to in a minute, is on the first floor, and that's the dressing room, the bedroom and the master bathroom across the back. So finally, here we are at the outbuilding. Let's go in. In here, we have a selection of gym equipment. So the whole family use this space. We have people that ride, people that do weights, people that do yoga. The main feature out here is the materiality. So we have a steel lattice grid up the top, which has got birch ply, and then we have these really amazing up and over roof lights, which are very large expanses of glass. And then the light in here is just amazing all year. So we have a second up and over roof light here, and then we have a glass internal courtyard to the building, which houses an external hot tub, which runs round here and then has a shower on the other side of it. So if you're in the hot tub or the gym, you can have a shower in here and then be ready for the rest of your day. So the reason that the shower is here on this side of the courtyard is that we've made doors in both these locations opposite each other, which gives direct access to and from the hot tub for having a shower afterwards. The hot tub is a cedar wood, and the shower tiles in here are a hand-painted lava stone. We then have a small WC and sink, which is hidden in the joinery over there. So in here, this is incredibly tactile. It's hand-burnt wood, and we've basically got a whole run that conceals all the storage and joinery, and then has a toilet and WC in this section. So coming into the last space, we've been to the hot tub, we've been through the shower, and then we finally end up in the sauna. It's quite a large sauna, actually. It's sort of three or four people, and the rest of this space is then another kind of lounge space / yoga area. So this is the outside of the outbuilding, which is really great. So you can see the detailing here is amazing. So we didn't actually cut a brick on this outside of this building. So we've got these huge up and over glass pieces and really clean brickwork verticals. The gym is behind here. This is the hot tub. And then this is the space that has the sauna in it behind. So outdoors, you can see really clearly, we've got outdoor seating by indoor living. We've got a sunken seating area outside of the dining area. And then we've got the outdoor kitchen outside of the main kitchen space. So on the first floor, we've got the whole master suite. But before we go up there, let's go down to the basement. So down in the basement now, we've got a study in here, we've got a wine cellar in this space, and we've got a really large playroom in there. But first, we'll go to the study. So this is the study, and this is actually in the basement. But what's really great about this is above me here, we have a semicircular drive-on roof light in the front driveway, which just provides this amazing light for the desk space, which is also a semicircle, as you can see. Mr. Smith spends a lot of time in this chair. The joinery is matching with the rest of the house, so we've got the dark joinery still running through. Again, we've got lots of artwork in this space, and behind you is a bookcase for this study. We've actually worked with this couple before. This is an almost exact copy of his previous study in their previous home, and things like the light, which was from Artemidi, actually moved with them. So we've kept some of the pieces from his old space. In the centre downstairs, we have a wine cellar. Obviously, the main function in here is to store the wine and the general alcohol. It's temperature controlled, so it's quite cold in here. But obviously, if you're into wine, then you need the right temperature. So directly opposite the wine cellar is the playroom, the place you need the wine for. So this is the playroom, which is a really large space and obviously not the typical type of playroom. The family here are all a little bit older, and so this is just a kind of real great hangout space. There's lots of sections to it, so I'll just walk you through them. So this section of the room is the kind of Dames section. This whole run of joinery is storage and actually has a secret door into it, into the plant room, which has obviously got the brain of the house in it and the heating, etc. Big feature in this space is the large exposed ceiling. So we've got the concrete of the floor above exposed as a ceiling finish with a really great light shelf. And in the centre of that space is a disco ball. So when it's a really good party, we have that on. Into this space, we have a home cinema, which is a projector that comes out of the light shelf and then it projects onto the wall. And then we have finally a sort of small bar DJ section so that when their kids have their friends around, they can just have a really great time. So coming out of the playroom, we've got the rest of the basement, which is a guest toilet. So perfect for if you're in the playroom, you can pop in there. And then we've got the utility room and some further storage down the hall. So coming up to the first floor now, we have the master suite, which I'll show you in a second, but it's worth stopping here just to admire the staircase because this is the continuation between the spiral going up to the second floor and the helical coming up from the ground floor. We have these bowl lights that are dramatically hanging down through the centre of the staircase, and you really get a feel of the rawness of the metal in this section. So into the master suite, so we have the whole back of the house covered. We have the bathroom at one end, we have the dressing area at the other end, and in the middle we have the master bedroom. This is the master bedroom, so we have a really large central bed that looks straight out onto the garden. We have a bespoke bed head, which is timber and linen, which is backlit from behind to make a real feature, and then angle poise lights for task lighting. And we have the bowls coming through from the rest of the house, and of course we've still got the timber finish up here. So to give you an idea of the outlook, the master bed is just there, and then this is the window that you look through, and this is a Juliet. So actually you can open this, and so in the summer months you can have this open looking down at the outbuilding, which I've already shown you. So moving away from the bedroom into the dressing area, this is a really large space. So it has a his and hers island dressing table, and it has a lot of wardrobes both sides of me. For a bit of perspective, this whole master suite is approximately 65 square metres, so it's a large bedroom, a large dressing area and a large bathroom. So the reason that we put an island into this space was that actually it is so big that it sort of lent itself to having that as the chest of drawers function for the room. Obviously these are all wardrobes and the clients were quite keen to have freestanding chest of drawers, but rather than put them around the edges and having a large space here, we decided to use a sort of kitchen island technique. All of our handles on all the joinery are recessed. We saw that in the kitchen. These ones are lovely, long, deep handles so that all of the doors are handleless. One of the reasons that we went for bespoke joinery, other than obviously that it looks amazing, is that we were able to conceal everything we needed to in it. So this is an example of the air conditioning being hidden within the wardrobe, but actually it just looks like part of the joinery. So coming from the dressing room behind the bedroom, we go into the master bathroom. Now this is one of our favourite spaces that we've ever designed, and it has some really key architectural moves. We have these huge slabs of marble that run up and across the room, and we have them in different colours. Let me show you each area. So what we have here is really tall pieces of, it's actually as big as you can cut it out of the ground, book matched. This one is black on white marble. So moving into this area, which has a white on black, again book matched, and is supposed to be an invert of the other one so that you have a his and hers sink situation. Behind this slab is a walk-through shower the length of the sink unit. So that has two ends and then has a final vertical piece here, which is obviously the end of the vertical marble, but has the toilets hidden behind it out of view. So all of these slabs are perpendicular to the windows, which are south facing, so the light in here is really great. And of course, every bathroom needs a bathtub, which is just by this window. So coming out of the master suite, we had a study downstairs, but there's another study just in here for another member of the family, which is just a smaller version of what we've seen in the basement. And then in here, we've got one of the other bedrooms. So coming into one of the kids' bedrooms now, this is where the spaces change a little bit from the main spaces and the master, because we have continuity of floor, but we've changed now to planks rather than a herringbone parquet. And we are a bit more personalised with the joinery. So rather than the dark grey everywhere, we've gone for colours suitable for each child. So on this floor, we have the 2 girls alongside the master suite and the smaller study. And in the girls' bathrooms, we have a kind of quite simple tile design on the floor. And then we've complemented it with this lilac mylas marble, which is one of my favourites. So that's the detail edges. And then we have a nice walk-in shower in this one. So leaving this bedroom, we've obviously walking along the whole of the master suite this side, and we've got the amazing staircase on this side. And we come across into another bedroom. So this is another girl's bedroom. So we've got the pinky purple joinery with wardrobes, we've got the bed space, and then we have another bathroom similar to the other. I'll show you that. So this bathroom is very similar to the other one. We have the same marble, the same tiles, and then the only difference is in this one we've got a bath. So actually the girls can share shower and bath. So finally we'll go up to the top floor where we have the boys' bedrooms, a children's playroom, and another bathroom. So coming up to the second floor, we have a playroom, which I'll show you in a minute. We have 2 bedrooms for the boys, and then we have a bathroom for the boys at the back. So in contrast to the girls' bathrooms, we have a much darker feel to this room with the darker porcelain tiles. This is for the boys, and we have kind of sink, nice freestanding bath with the skylight, and then if you come around the corner, you will see a walk-in shower. So finally up here we have a playroom for the children who vary in age quite a lot in this house. So it's quite a flexible space. We have a desk area for homework and working. And then we have a kind of gaming TV area that is just where they hang out. Thanks so much for coming, Luxury Home Show. I really hope you've enjoyed the tour of the house for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. If you want any more information, check the link below, and I'll see you guys soon.
Hi there, Luxury Home Show. I'm Sarah and I am House Obsessed on Instagram, and I'm also a micro property developer. This is my home in South East London. Come on in and have a look.